Thanks for having me. My name is Lloyd Ford, running for City Council District D. Again, that is Lloyd Ford, running for City Council District D. And for one, I hate going first. I would say this: we always come up here and we're gonna hear our political 30-second speeches. But one thing that we never hear a lot of people talk about is power. And the reason why I wanted to bring up that first, because we hear a lot about that, and I'll take it back to Brother Dr. Amos Wilson. We always say, if we want our black people, we want our people to hear some of that, guess what? We gotta lead that over power. We gotta lead that over opportunity. And I could talk about all the things that we've done here in the community, the businesses we start, the civic clubs that we help out by building their websites for free, the interns we have with all the youth. But we need somebody that's gonna usher in the next generation of what we're doing in innovation of our communities. You see that bike over there? These are the different innovative ideas that you'll see. Is we're not gonna wait for us to come up to you or knock on your door. We're gonna be pulling up in your driveways. And we want to just show that we're gonna bring the innovative ideas and innovative things that's gonna bring our communities back to greatness and what we do and accountability. So we can always talk about all the things that we're going to do, that we want to do. But these are some of the things that we've already done. We paid over $70,000 back to black-owned vendors and back to black-owned people. So we want to just show these are the things that we're going to be doing to bring back the innovative ideas and the things of our community. And we don't hear a lot of people speaking to that. And so when we talk about our community, we just want to talk about power, but also the powerlessness that we've had over the years. We've seen things go by for the past decades and things haven't changed. When are we going to change? And that's the only time that things are going to change, when you choose somebody that's here and to be that change and a difference maker in your communities. And we want to bring that same innovative ideas that we brought in our business back to you. That's Lloyd Ford for District D, Lloyd Ford for District D. Thank y'all.
Good morning. My name is Erica McCutcheon. I'm a candidate for Houston City Council at large, position 3. Let me get this up here. I'm running because I want to help our city to mitigate the shortfalls of things that's happening in our city and in our community. I'm running to help our city mitigate the pitfalls that urban cities tend to experience, and that has to do with budget shortfalls, infrastructure, all the things that you're going to hear, crime, all the things that you're going to hear many of the candidates talk about this morning. I live in District D, but I'm on that southeast side of this District D. It's a very large district. And I am a civic club leader. And in our community, we've done collaborative efforts and working together to make sure that our community get the services and the things that we need. And so as a collaborative working together, I was want to say to you all, your voice does matter. Your voice is your currency downtown. It is your voice that needs to be heard through your civic communities. And so what I want to do is I want to be that candidate for you, to be that voice for you downtown at City Hall. I promise that I will show up. I know a lot of times we hear people say on the campaign trail that we don't see our city council people, but you're going to see me. I'm a community person. I'm a pastor's wife. I serve in my community, not only as ministry, but also as a civic club president for 9 years. Working through things, working coalitions out, working to keep things out of our community, working to bring things into our community. And we found out and learned very on that when we go to City Hall, when we go with a collective voice, we can get things done in our community. I am Erica McCutcheon, candidate for Houston City Council at large, position 3. Remember me on November 7th.
My name is Kendall Baker, candidate for City Council at large, position 1. Most of you remember me by my voice. Thank you for calling the 311 Houston Service Upline. That was me. Years ago, our previous mayors used my voice to take in the calls. I am acquainted with handling and resolving thousands upon thousands upon thousands of your concerns and complaints on a daily basis. I since retired from the city of Houston. I was also recently elected to the HISD school board that was taken over by the state. I have a passion to serve. I want to serve this community where I was born and raised. I'm a pastor. I'm a board member for the Houston, for our HOA, the Homeowners Association. I wear many, many hats. I'm a father of one, and I just love to serve. What you hear emanating out of my voice is serve, public service, public service, public service. When it comes to the crime, I want to help to reduce the crime. When it comes to the flooding, I want to help to reduce the flooding and the infrastructure problems. When it comes to the budget, I want to find the money that you talked about that's missing from the black community. Those $22 million, Mr. Charles X, we're going to find the money. I don't claim to know all the answers today, but whomever becomes mayor, and along with my other 15 colleagues that will be elected around the horseshoe, I want to be one of the team members to help solve the problem. If you put a baker in the kitchen, you'll get something out of there. My name is Kendall Baker for City Council at Large, Position 1. I will fight for you. I will resolve the problems for you. You can count on me. Kendall Baker for at Large, Position 1. Thank you.
I'm Jack Christie. I'm running for mayor. Now, you'll remember me because people mix me up with Governor Chris Christie running for president. And I want to tell you, I'm no Chris Christie. So remember the name. I've won 15 elections. The last 3 were citywide for at-large council member for the City of Houston, Position 5. Before that, I was the chairman of the State Board of Education. Dr. Alma Allen was this side of Harris County. I was the other side. And we oversaw 5.2 million children in the public schools. Before that, I was president of the Spring Branch School Board. When I was president, they were picked the #1 school board in the state of Texas. So I want to continue that service with the next spot. I've been in every district. In the first month as mayor, I'll be in District D, finding out the needs of District D. I've been to every district. I talked to almost every school on the east side, the ones that need it. I volunteered at Wheatley High School. I cut grass at Worthing High School. I pulled weeds at Cashmere High School. Wherever there's a need, I was taught to be fair to everyone growing up. I had great parents. And so I'm asking you, do you want someone straightforward, honest, common sense, and can balance a budget and can get along with everyone? I went 14 countries with Mayor Parker. I went to 9 countries with Mayor Turner. If it wasn't for a sense of humor, we'd probably be fighting, but we got along. I want to balance the budget. Once we get a few dollars, it's going to be 500 more police. Jack Christie for mayor. Thank you.
Good morning. Willie Davis. I'm running for City Council at Large, Position number 2. Let me just say real quickly to some points, and I'll give the timekeeper some change. First of all, this race is about the people. We have got to understand the criticalness of this year's race is about the people. It's really not about the candidates. It's about you. It's about what you need and where you need to be. I've been working in this city for over pretty much about 38 years. The reason why many of us don't understand some of the points of interest of why our community is not getting is simply because we got to put people that learn historically. The city council of old did work. And you know how they did it? They did it by working together. The whole idea about what we do in our city move forward, because you got to have a city council and people on council that experience and know how to get the job done, how to communicate, negotiate with each other. If we learn the history of the past, the ex-council member that served this town, they knew how to get things done. We have got to start doing it. Crime, the simple fact is this. The Bible says, well, there is no vision, people perish. And the reality of it is we got to have people in this city, in administration and council that has vision. 2019, I ran on the issue of crime. I ran on crime. Let's keep Houston safe. People laughed at that. They thought it was a joke. 2019, the crime rate was 166 homicides. 1 year later, it was 400. And whatever that's crime going on, it dispenses the economic. So I'm running for City Council at Large, Position number 2, Pastor Willie Davis. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Marina Angelica Coriat, and I'm the leader that you need for Houston City Council. As my opponent just spoke about having experience, I'm the candidate that has the experience of working with the city of Houston. I bring a wealth of experience. I've worked 21 years in the mayor's office under Mayor Kathy Whitmire, answering the phone calls, answering your concerns over the years in the Citizens Assistance Office, knowing how the city of Houston has worked. I worked in the Housing Community Development Department, and I've worked in the Solid Waste Management Department as the Public Information Manager and the Council Liaison. I come with a wealth of experience, having worked in an emergency center, working at TransStar, and let me tell you, I'm right here. I went to school right down the street at South Park at Jesse H. Jones High School, graduated with honors, and I went on to Cornell University where I studied my languages and I studied government. So I understand government from the bottom up all the way up to the top. And let me tell you, I can serve you. So you have concerns. I remember being on that yellow school bus coming over to Jones, and the streets were flooded. I mean, we were seeing the ditches that were poor, that were just full. And we need to make sure that we keep a maintenance system for the ditches. We need to make sure that we have the infrastructure in place. And crime, and let me tell you, crime is something that is happening all over the city. That's something we have to address as a city council member. But let me tell you, as a former solid waste management department and a trash talker, I understand garbage, I understand illegal dumping, I understand those concerns that are hitting our communities, and I will work with the department directors and the mayor and my council members, for our fellow council members, to address those issues. I have the historical institutional knowledge. I'm a former board member with the Houston Area Urban League Board of Directors. I've been here giving back into the community. Marina. And
good morning. Let me first thank the pastor allowing us to this house of Lord. Thank you very much. My name is MJ Khan, and I'm your candidate for the mayor. I'm a businessman. I have an MBA from Rice. I served on Houston City Council for 6 years, and I know how to solve the problems. I have the management experience, financial expertise, knowledge of the city, and the vision for the city, which is different from legislative experience. The position of the mayor is the chief executive officer. That's what you need. I served Southwest Houston, and that was underserved community like you ever know, just like you have here right now in District D. Sharpstown, Alief, and Gulfton was underserved. When I went to the city council, I worked with the mayor, Bill White, and thanks to my Bill White and my council colleague, we transformed that area. And just go look at Belliard, look at Harbin and Hillcroft corridor. That is booming. Hundreds of businesses came, tens of thousands of people getting jobs. We got new park, new multi-service center, new police station. That's what I want to do. Look, my problem is the wastage of city dollars, the influence of pay-to-play contractors and special interests. They're sucking your dollars, and it seems like the city hall is just a conduit of money coming out of your pocket and straight to the special interest bank account. That's what we need to change. You need somebody who can take on these special interests. If you look at my campaign finance report, I'm not getting any support from a special interest. Why? I don't need that. I want support, and I'm getting support from people like you, giving me small donation, actual Houstonians who are concerned about this city. That's what I want to do for you, what I did for District F. Compare that to the other candidates who are serving for decades, and what is the condition of their district. I want to whole Houston to look like what I did for District F. Booming area, bringing businesses. Thank you very much, MJ Khan for mayor.
Thank you all for having me. My name is Shannon Nobles, and I'm running to be your next city controller. I currently serve as the Chief Deputy City Controller, the #2 person in the office. I've worked in the Controller's office for 14 years, and public service for over 20 years. I understand the legislative side and the Controller's office. What does the Controller's office do? The Controller is the Chief Financial Officer, the watchdog over your finances. I have safeguarded the city's finances through 2 major disasters. During COVID, when we heard about Harvey, and even Ice Storm Uri, I have personally had thousands of dollars reimbursed to the city of Houston. To tell you a little bit about myself, I am a native Houstonian. I graduated from MB Smiley. I have a bachelor's degree in business and MBA in finance. Houston needs a dedicated public servant with experience in the controller's office. I'm married, been married over 20 years, will be 21 years after the election. I have 2 daughters in college, so I'm asking you to remember me because knowledge, integrity, and experience matters. Think about it. We're going to have a new mayor, new council member, between 6 to 13 a new mayor, a new controller, and between 6 to 13 new council members. Continuity is going to be important. We don't need on-the-job training. We need someone with experience in the office. I am the only candidate in this race with experience working in the controller's office. I have been endorsed by 2 past city controllers, Ron C. Green, Chris Brown. I've been endorsed by Claude Cummings, DZ Cofield, and I can name a few others. Shannon Nobles for City Controller, Shannon Nobles for City Controller, Shannon Nobles for City Controller. Thank you.
I'm here to serve. I've been serving the Houston community for 38 years. I've been married 45 years. I've been in Houston for 45 years. I have 3 kids and 4 grandchildren. When I come to this district right here, to Pleasantville, Sunnyside, it breaks my heart. How these people, we live in the richest country in the world, and people still living like this with garbage everywhere, crimes everywhere. My business at Richmond Avenue, my business got broken in about 5 times in 1 year. Stealing tires, wheels, tire converters. We need to stop electing the same people to the office. We need somebody with experience. I came to Houston in 1979, my wife and I started my business. I've been in business for 38 years. I run a company, $20 million companies. I have 50 employees. I provide excellent service to the people. I'm embedded with the community. I see that there's pain and the suffering, especially when I see those single moms. They go to the bank, they follow them, and they break the window, they take the money from them, and they beat them up. I see that happening in my own life. I see too many times. We need to stop. These people that steal cars, that steal tires and wheels and go around the house, they need to stay in jail longer. You can't release them the next day. We need to protect our senior citizens. Crime, for me, is a task. When I became your mayor, I made sure, because I'm a mechanic by trade. I'm a jack of all trades. I'm a mechanic, I'm a plumber, I'm an electrician. So believe me, all the broken water, I'm not going to wait for it to break. I'm going to fix it before they break. We call it preventive maintenance. My name is Julian Martinez. Thank you.
My name is Travis McGee. I'm the civic leader for 19 years in the Sunnyside South Park area. I'm not going to give you, I'm going to do speech, but I can tell you what I have done already. Infrastructure projects, sidewalk projects, street lights, traffic lights, the brand new park, football park on Grimes Park. Years of CIP requests done that. When they tried to move the Sunnyside Mother Services on top of the old dump, the environmental hazard, I spearheaded that from the beginning to the end. We stopped it. 2018, they tried to take over the school district. We spearheaded that. We from at the administration building from 4 p.m. to almost 1 o'clock the next morning. So we need people who are already doing the work in the area. We need to give ourselves a chance for this particular election. Stop giving everybody a chance but us. My platform is crime, drainage, infrastructure, illegal dumping, education. When I say education, do vocational programs. For the next 50, 60 years, through the Rebuild Houston, it's going to be nothing but construction trades in the city of Houston. So why not get those trades and those jobs to our children versus them going to jail and whatnot? So, Rebuild Houston, there's over $1 billion sitting downtown right now for Rebuild Houston. You know that drainage fee that we pay every month and we flood worse than ever now? Why our streets are not getting repaired right now? Our streets are like landmines hit them. Anywhere you go, the city owe all of us a new car by now. So all I'm asking you all to do is research. Vote for the person who has been doing the work, not the titles, not the names, the people that have already been doing the work. Research is very easy, y'all. Those white cards I gave you, I did the research for you. All that can be verified, but we need to give ourselves a chance, for instance. Now, with the crime, we need the police to work together. We don't care if it's HPD, HISD, Harris County, sheriffs. We just need someone to make it to our property less than 4 to 6 hours. The average wait time in our area is 4 to 6 hours. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Thank you. McGee for District D.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dave Martin, and I'm running for City Controller. For the past 4 years, I've been your Mayor Pro Tem in the City of Houston. For the past 11 years, I've been on City Council. During my time on City Council, I was in charge of Budget and Fiscal Affairs Committee. I was also in charge of the city's Debt and Financing Committee. During that time, we were able to protect your tax dollars by reducing the amount of pension debt from $8.2 billion down to $2 billion. My candidacy is a reflection in the City of Houston. As a matter of fact, I'm endorsed by Mayor Turner, Adrian Garcia, Commissioner Tom Ramsey, and a bunch of my City Council members. I've been an accountant for 40 years of my life in the private sector. 40 years of my life, I've been in accounting for Ernst & Young, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and Marsh & McLennan companies. During those times, I've done balance sheets and tax work and audit work for companies like Shell, Chevron, BP, Hewlett-Packard. Before that, it was Compaq. The City of Houston is a $6 billion corporation. You need to run it like a corporation. You can't have people that aren't qualified to do this job. As Shannon talked to you about, this is an accounting job. This is a finance job. You will be the chief financial officer and watchdog in the City of Houston. I spent 40 years of my life doing that in the private sector, working with the biggest companies in the City of Houston. Charles talks about your fair share. Every year I put through an amendment in capital improvement tax dollars to get 9.1% of the dollars allocated along the 11 council districts. That equals 100%. Most of your tax dollars go to District C, 13%. I tried to get everyone their fair share of tax dollars by doing that amendment every year, and I failed every year because council won't vote for it.
My name is Georgia Provost, and I am running for City Council District D. Good to see you, Congresswoman. For over 50 years, I have been a resident of District D, and I own a business. I'm a community volunteer, and if y'all notice this around my neck, I was honored last week, and I received the Presidential Community Service Award. I'm also with the Helping Provost fundraising team. We raise funds for injured or fallen law enforcement officers, firefighters, and their family. We raise money for mental health, mental retardation, KTSU, and other hosts of organizations. I am running because I see a need for economic development / job creation, infrastructure, crime hot pockets, and we need to improve 911. And do y'all know we need some street lights? And most of the areas that I travel in District D, where the crimes are, we have no street lights, and those that are up don't have no bulbs in it to work. And it's simple. All we have to do is get with Centerpart, and they'll come and give us a service. Also, we need community policing. For 30 years, my office has served as the annex for the city, county, state, and national. Because people will call me for their problems and concerns because they know I have the resources and I get the problem solved. I am, again, Georgia Provost, and I'm running for District D to serve you. I would also have community town hall meetings. How can I serve you if I don't meet with you? We're going to have plenty of meetings, and we're going to have some CWC. Y'all know what CWC is? Coffee, water, and conversation.
I am your council member, Carolyn Evans Shabazz, the council member for District D, what I call the District of Destination. Can y'all hear me? You're using up my time, sir. You'll be claiming my time. Again, I'm Councilmember Carolyn Evans Shabazz, council member for District D. This is not my first time here. You all have seen me working in the community, and I show up, and I'm very accountable. I have no problem being scrutinized. I show up to be scrutinized because that's the only way I can move forward to help the district. Certainly, the most important thing is to get home at night safely. And so I have invested significant money into police patrol, but I've certainly worked with gangs to help them to change the trajectory of their lives. I've certainly worked to help people who need to have their records expunged because I don't just do policy, I do social work. I help people because I love people and I show up past the horseshoe. I want to say another thing. Certainly, I drive on the same streets that you do. I designate streets with council money, as well as with the mayor's program, to fix these streets. But do not be fooled. There's no one in this room that has made any impact on infrastructure other than an application. You can make an application, but the work is done by the elected officials. So let's be very clear about that. So certainly I am your council member for District D. I am born and raised in District D, went to Jack Yates High School, worked very long at Worthing High School, very familiar with the whole community from Sagemont to Midtown. And so certainly I would appreciate your support. I know my time is running out, but I have so much I can say. It's hard to say what you can do when you have 2 years of a pandemic. But I certainly accomplished a great deal, not only for the community that I live in, but communities that surround it. Councilmember Carolyn Evans-Shabazz. Thank you.
Hi, this is Andrew Patterson. I go by Drew. My background has primarily been in risk management. In other words, anything that you have an exposure to, I address. Any type of crime, element, whatever it may be, I'm always going to try to keep the county, the city, and the state responsible for what they do in our city. One thing that I've realized, and it's been happening quite some time, is that we as public servants, we can only do so much. We depend upon you to actually help out. What I would like to do is, I don't know how many times you've been out on a freeway, get stuck going from 4 lanes down to 1 lane, and you're stuck 2 hours in traffic trying to get someplace. I would like to put signs there stating project number, a phone number to call. So when you're in the car waiting, you can pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, what the heck is going on here? I'm stuck in traffic. It's causing green gas effect. Also with the streets, there's a problem. I want to put a sign out there for the neighbors to go and say, we have a problem. This is the phone number where you need to call. So you yourself, with your cell phone, can pick up the phone and call somebody and say, fix our streets, fix whatever it may be. We talk about flooding in Houston itself. Honestly, I feel a burden upon us as citizens, allowing the city to go ahead and, or businesses actually, to put up parking lots, allow the water to drain out further instead of being absorbed into the ground, affecting people's houses and being flooded. And the city doesn't go, we're going to buy your house because we flooded out 3 out of 4 times already, and the insurance company's not going to insure you anymore because of the flood. You're in a flood zone. Well, you weren't in the flood zone before, but the city created the flood zone by what they've done. I'm tired of that. I'm asking you to allow me, as a city council member at large 4, to be your council member to address your concerns. Let me just tell you, right now I talk about criminals. We spend $22,000 a year for each person that's incarcerated. Massachusetts spends $57,000 a year for their incarceration. We spend $12,000 a year for a student to go to. Thank you very much.
Everybody smiled. We are all here together as one big family. I'm delighted to be here. Glad to see you. Delighted to be here at Greater St. Matthews. Thank you, Pastor, very much. I'm Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Want to come home to be the mayor of the city of Houston. I have always been a neighborhood elected official. As mayor of the city of Houston, I will be the neighborhood mayor. And the reason is because I'm the only candidate that has a multiple level of governmental experience, from the Houston City Council to Deputy Commissioner of Agriculture in the state of Texas, and knowing the federal government from the beginning until the end. The only one that has impacted Sims Bayou does not flood because of the funding that I gave. White Oak Bayous received money, Greens Bayou, Halls Bayou, and bayous beyond. The improvement of flooding has begun. It's not where we need to be, but it's because of my concern about neighborhoods. Every single mayor, as I was a member of the city of Congress, I have worked with and helped on their projects. It is important that a neighborhood mayor is concerned not so much about what money is made downtown, but what money is brought to the neighborhoods, what jobs are brought to the neighborhoods. I'll be a job creator. Right now, I have people from the national community interested in coming and producing jobs in Houston. Crime fighting is not just providing for our police, which I will do. I have a strong record on criminal justice. At the same time, I want to make sure that we have jobs for our young people, that we have recreation for our young people. Parks and recreation are important to me. We will invest in those parks. And affordable housing, both in terms of apartments and affordable housing for our families. We will not be the eviction city. My congressional office had over 100 evictions that we were working with, and we are successful. We save homes. We help people get into hospitals. I am the kind of candidate that you can trust. I am the candidate that cares, and I am the candidate that will not hide from you or government from you. Transparency will be the rule of the next mayor of the city of Houston, Sheila Jackson Lee.
Good morning, District. My name is Deborah Rose, and I'm likewise running out for City Council District D. This is my first time running out for City Council. I have a multitude of background from a real estate agent. I worked in healthcare, and I now currently work at the U.S. Postal Service at night. I'm just like you, a working class citizen, but my thing is I want to make a difference in the community. I would like to see crime go down, affordable housing, and infrastructure. Likewise, want to see our community built bigger and brighter. I have been reaching out, because I've been in retail before, with certain retail to see if they want to come back into the neighborhood, participate in seeing us grow further. I'm not big on talking, I'm a lot about action. I will be intentional and proactive. You have to get out of the seat and come down to the community and do some work. My name again is Deborah Rose. Thank you for your time, and I'm running out for City Council District D.
Now, the next phase of the forum has to do with two questions. One from the audience, one from the panel. Y'all got that?
Yes.
Two questions, one and one. If your question needs to be clarified, I'm going to clarify it, or disqualify it. And we'll get another question, but we want to try to move through this because each candidate is going to answer. For an example, the controller. Two questions, every controller candidate. Mayor, two questions, every candidate. Are we clear on that?
Yes, sir.
Now, here's the tricky part. Time. So, we got a minute and a half. Not enough time. Now, if y'all let me extend the meeting another 15 minutes, we got time. Is that all right? Yeah. All right then, we got time.
How do you expect to monitor and correct the disparities in service delivery accepted practices by the mayor or the department heads? The next one is, does the city charter prevent the controller from partnering with stakeholders?
I will continue to correct those disparities the way that we do now by conducting audits. We have 22 city departments. We audit each of those departments to identify fraud, waste, and abuse. The city charter, section 7, authorizes us to do those audits. That is the source of our authorization. We abide by the current charter. So, meeting with those departments, and as the gentleman has said before, Mr. Charles X. White said earlier, when we identify those issues, we sound the alarm. So when I sound the alarm to you, I need you to hold your representatives accountable, your local representatives. So we must be united. I ring the bell. As he stated, you have the chief executive officer, which is the mayor. You have the chief financial officer, which is the city controller, which also has authority to audit city departments. We sound the alarm when there is a problem. We present it to you. We work together to work with our local officials and city council members and mayor.
The second question, what authorization does a controller have to partner with citizens, including funding programs that will aid in balancing the budget?
Currently, as I stated, the city charter gives us specific guidelines as to what the controller can and cannot do. However, as an advocate, as a city controller, I will be more visible. In fact, I am currently active in a program called Bank on Houston. That's a program that was initiated by the Controller's Office in 2008. And what it does is bring the unbanked and the underbanked into the financial mainstream. We partner with financial institutions, We partnered with also a program called G Unity. Y'all may have heard of 50 Cent, where he gives money to entrepreneurs, young students. Well, we go to those students and we talk to them about the importance of financial literacy, how to invest your money, how to close this wealth gap, how to build generational gap. So I think as the city controller, I will partner because I care. I not only safeguard the citizens' assets, I think that it's important to provide resources to the community to bridge that gap, to help you know and be aware of financial tools to help you to become more financially stable. Thank you.
Again, Dave Martin, running for city controller. Monitoring and correct. I've been doing this for 40 years in the private sector, working for big companies that do it each and every day. I've been blowing the alarm, sounding the whistle, whatever you want to call it, each and every day for these big companies. Shell, Chevron, BP, on and on and on. 40 years, the only one in the race that has accounting experience. When you talk about your fair share, I talked about the amendment I put in every year to get 9% of the capital improvement dollars assigned to each individual district. 11 districts in the city of Houston. 14, 15% go to District C, which is in the Heights. You don't get your fair share. You need to have someone that gets up, wakes the alarm, sounds the alarm, and tells people that District B and District D historically have not received their fair share of capital improvement projects. That's a fact. Look at the last number of years. What happens is the District C council member always votes to get more. And if you're above that 9% threshold, you're naturally going to vote against my amendment. What we need to do is we need to take that out of the hands of the city employees, the city council members, and put it towards real smart business people that have done accounting day in and day out. I've partnered with every district council member in the city of Houston to get additional dollars, which we've done for open ditch programs each and every day. Why? Because the facts will show you when you have open ditches that are clogged, the water doesn't flow to the intended source and you backflow. You flood. So that's what we need to do. And the second question was partnering, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Partnering. I've always partnered. I partner with the mayor each and every day. I partner with Councilmember Carolyn Evans Shabazz, all the council members that I work with day in and day out. That's why my candidacy reflects what the city of Houston looked like. African American, white, Republican, Democrat, Asian, Hispanic. Those are the folks that have endorsed me. Why? Because of my private sector experience doing this in a role that requires you to be a CFO. I've done this for 40 years, and I ask for your vote. Dave Martin, running for Houston City Controller. God bless.
You're gonna ask the question to the mayor. Okay.
Good morning.
No, this is the mic.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Whitney Threadcraft. I'm a criminologist. I heard a number of candidates mention crime and their opinions on crime. So I'm a student of history. We know that overcorrecting and using an extremely...
Whoa, what's the question?
I'm about to say. Are we going to be putting more money into punitive crime control practices, or are we going to follow research and evidence and invest in social infrastructure?
What will be your filtering process to hear directly from citizens when council members are not responding to constituents' requests?
Let me try start with the question on crime. First of all, it is important to know I'm a crime fighter. You have to do it in many ways. Remember what I said, a neighborhood mayor. Neighborhood by neighborhood, visibility, cleaning up that neighborhood. They did it in Midtown, and it worked. So that's one thing. Don't be frightened about someone else saying, oh, they know how to fight crime. But the doctor is very right. Today is World Mental Health Day. I will be the mental health mayor. I will be the mayor that will look for alternatives, dealing with recreation, dealing with the vocational, when I say work study, coming out of the Department of Labor. I'm the only mayoral candidate that knows how to get those federal dollars against anti-gun violence, anti-violence. There is now a new office about anti-gun violence. There are grants to deal with the social aspect of crime, to be able to get our young people to steer away from it. to be able to work with nonprofits, those who are dealing with African American boys or Latino boys or Anglo boys or Asian boys and girls, to work with our schools. I will be an education mayor. How do you do that? We don't run the schools. But you know I fought against the HISD takeover. I'll be collaborating with our superintendent on what is the best way of public-private partnerships to work with our children. I gave $1 million to Booker T. Washington, another $1 billion to Northeast. This is directly to them, to North Forest, as we fought to keep it open. I know how to be on the ground working with you to solve problems. And the social aspect of solving social problems is extremely important. Let me also say mental health is important. I'll be the mental health mayor working with our city health department. Then in terms of working, yes, in terms of, it builds on my neighborhood concept, if you will. We will have in my office, my actual mayor's office, there is a neighborhood office. We'll work with our council members, but we'll also have a system as I am out to be able to receive, as I do when I'm out as a member of Congress, taking those concerns, complaints, and processing them out of the mayor's office, working with my council. There's nothing that you can get done if you're not working with council members, working with the controller. I have sat at the city council table with Lanier and Whitmire. I have gotten ordinance passed that no one thought could be done at city council. I chaired the Human Relations Committee. I dealt with homelessness. I know that you work with your council. We will be a city that is a city of neighborhoods. Your neighborhood will be fixed up because I'm the fixer-up, I'm the transparent, I'm the person you can trust, the person that cares. Sheila Jackson Lee for mayor.
Look, to answer the first question, we cannot have things done in isolation. It has to be a comprehensive solution to make the city the best city in the world, okay? Your infrastructure, your pay-to-play contract influence reduction from there, responding to, and yes, of course, crime. Now what we do, and I was talking to some people beforehand, of course we need more police officers, but my solution is have the police department reflect the communities they are serving in. We don't want police officers living in Conroe and all those areas and trying to serve here where they don't know the neighborhood. I would like to recruit police officers from the neighborhood, patrolling in the neighborhood, knowing the neighbors, knowing the businesses, and dealing with the crime the way it has to be effective that way. On top of that, we need to take the blight out of the neighborhood because that blight attracts crime also. Then we need to make sure that we do community policing, to make sure that people are involved in the police department to solve the crime problem. We also should have mental health units in the police department, so first call is not always the police officer, sometimes it's the mental health issues, so those units need to be first responder. So that's how you take the comprehensive, the social aspect of it is extremely important and we need to address it in a comprehensive manner. That's how I will do it for crime solution. I will not raise any of your taxes like other candidates are saying they will raise, we are under revenue cap. They want to raise revenue cap for safety. I will not do that. We have enough money to fight the crime, but it has to be community policing with comprehensive solution to the crime. The next question about the responding to the constituents. Okay, that's the job of the mayor, really. Yes, council members have to respond. When I was on the city council, I conducted more town hall meetings in my district than ever before, and I don't know since then. Why? Because that's the only way you know what the community is feeling. I will also strengthen the homeowners association as well as our super neighborhood so that they are responding to the community. And so our super neighborhood needs to be empowered more because they are the people on the ground, they are the working in the neighborhood, and their input is extremely essential for city to do a better job. But more importantly, and that's the gist of it, don't go with just promises, look at the history, okay? The bottom line is that you need a mayor which serves you and not the special interest which is going on for decades. Thank you. MJ Khan for mayor.
When you fill out your ballots, I'll take second place here. Thank you very much. Jack Christie for mayor. We need to be tough on crime. We can't let convicted felons and rapists out on some kind of bond. They have to be in jail. They have to be in jail. You need tough judges and vote to make tough judges not give those light bonds. The criminals need to be in jail. Now, to speak to the doctor's question earlier, you know the biggest cause, and I've told 4 police chiefs this, the biggest cause of crime is addictions. From 9/11 to all the mass shootings, they're on some drug. Legal, illegal. You are born not to kill. You're born with peace, love, and joy. But you get on these drugs, you know the number, the two main side effects are suicide tendencies and violent outbursts. When you're talking about New York or you're talking about Columbine, 9/11, they're on drugs. So I see patients and I'm into prevention. If you want to prevent crime, and I told every police chief this, you can't solve crime unless you solve the drug problem. That's common sense, but look at the physiology of the side effects. You do that. The other was responding to constituents. If somebody's not responding to you, your vote counts. Jiminy Christmas, this election more than any, that vote counts. They don't respond, vote them out. My theme in every office I've had 1, 2, 3, I'll be going for my 4th office. I tell them I'm a workhorse, not a show horse. If your city council member is not working for you, vote him out, him or her. So that's my answer to the question. I'm firm, but I'm kind and empathetic. But if we don't solve drugs, we're not going to solve crime.
It's a big problem for me because I'm in business for 38 years. Every so often, you go to the shop and you're missing wheels and tires and windshield and car converters. This is the problem that we have. Most of the time, we caught people, stealing stuff. And when I see the police, when I go to the police car, I see the young people inside. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I see young people stealing stuff at night when you're asleep. When you're asleep, only the devil go outside after 2 o'clock. It happened between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning. We need to have a police station close by maybe 2 miles per radius. We need to, the people that we caught stealing or whatever, when they go to jail, we cannot release them right away. And then from there, we should put them in some kind of training school. Because we need to, those people, they're not bad because they're bad. It's because they don't have anybody to tell, they don't have a good mentor to tell them what to do. So we take the young kids and we can save them by training them to be a mechanic, a body man, anything, and they will start stealing. To me, crime in Richmond Avenue is very bad. If you go to Home Depot, you go to any store, you pay 30% more what you buy because they already add a percentage of it. Also, crime. If you live in a crime-infected zip code, you pay more for your insurance and your home. So crime affects everybody, not the rich. Affects everybody across the board. So we need to have a come to Jesus moment and find out those people, they're not bad because they want to steal. It's because they need something. They need somebody to listen to them and to try to help them for them to be a good citizen in Houston. About being mayor with the people, if you go to my shop, I shake hands to everybody. I'm in a business for 38 years and I know everybody by name. People let me 30 years later say, Julian, hey, hi Joe, how you doing? Say, Julian, how you remember my name? Because I pay attention. I'm a people person. When I be your next mayor, you're gonna see the best you ever had in your life because I'm not looking for money. I work hard. Thank you. Julian Martinez for mayor.
Question is, we've been waiting for our building for Edgewood Park since 2007. Our money was allocated
within those years to a library across town and back. We called on the thing that at one CIP meeting that they tried to put Sunnyside Multi-Service Center, Edgewood Park together. A question is, with transparency, because I've been trying to get this answer for the last 4 years from my council member. When will we get our park renovated? What do y'all plan to do for that park? Because it's falling in. It's raining in on the children. When will we get our park done? When will we get our park renovated? Where's our money? And if anybody that win in this race, even if our council member win in this race, I ask, how would y'all work with transparency with the presidents?
My question is, south of OST, how much funding from your budget is dedicated?
Thank you, Ms. Barnes, for the question. Actually, before you left last night, you had that question, and I had actually handed it to Stephen James because I want to follow up so we can give you some substantial information. There has been some improvements done at Edgewood Park, but there are also other parks that are being improved. Certainly, we just did Sunnyside for the football field, and so we're working park by park. I also helped to put a pocket park out in District D. And so certainly I do hear your concerns. I have spoken to other community members, and I do know that things need to be done. Also, the Sunnyside TERS is going to rebuild Sunnyside Community Center. And so we're working park by park. And certainly, but because I know you are specifically concerned about Edgewood, and you have been, just before you left last night, I handed Stephen James your question because I do believe that people's responses need to be given when they have these questions. And you have been diligent with trying to get those answers. And so I make a commitment that I will get that answer to you today after talking to the Parks Department. Whoa. Okay. What was the other question? Oh, I'm kind of at a disadvantage for answering a question in regards to funding. But I do know that south of OST, there have been some improvements. But certainly, we're going to have to look at infrastructure money that's coming, because all of these streets need to be fixed. Certainly, Cullen was fixed, and Martin Luther King, because I identified those through the mayor's 2-mile program. Certainly, there are so many others. We also approved that the ditches are no longer the responsibility of the homeowners. They're responsibility now of the city, as they well should have been. And so we've corrected that problem. But certainly, we are trying to allocate money. We have the Sunnyside, what is it called? I can't think of it. The community where they are getting a lot of money in the Sunnyside area. What I'd like to do is share some information with some of the Civic Club leaders because I just had a SWAT meeting and it showed significant numbers have been placed in Sunnyside. And so I just want you to know, I don't deal with just one part of the district. I deal with the district from Sagemont all the way down to Midtown. And so I don't have the liberty of just dealing with one district. But certainly don't change horses in the middle of the stream. Number 5 on the ballot, Shabazz. Thank you.
One thing I'll say again, Lloyd Ford for District D, I can't speak to what's being already allocated on the budget. But one thing I can say, being your city council person, one thing we are going to do is with our budget and our service owners, we're all going to solve people's issues. One of the things that you've seen, we've already spent our own money to make sure and empower our communities and our civic clubs just by building websites and things of that nature for free. But I think we need to take it a step further. Our civic clubs are our watchdogs for the things that we do in our community. And I think you guys deserve a budget for signs, for outreach, to get more people involved. And one thing I'll say is all the things that we do, what makes us special is our ability to also raise money outside of what the normal people do. Like I said, for one of our businesses, we raised over $100,000, not using any big banks institutions, not using any credit. And guess what? We turned that into over $400,000. We paid out over $70,000 back to our local Black-owned vendors. These are some of the innovative things that we're going to be doing to empower our communities when we talk about funds, when we talk about economics. All we know is, guess what? We've been doing the same thing we have for all these years. And we know that Rodney Ellis had a study, and guess what? Black businesses only receive 0.5% of the contracts here in Houston. A lot of that needs to change. So we can't start changing our economics and our budgets and things that we want to do until we start speaking to the bigger budgets of what it needs to happen in our community. We have over 40 dilapidated buildings just on Cullen, Scott, and MLK that can be used for businesses, economic development, things that we're doing in our community. And guess what? We need the innovative ways and things that, guess what, we've already been doing to bring to our community. And guess what? Whether we win or lose, we're still going to be doing these programs. So our thing is to get our communities involved in these new economic ways of bringing economics to our community. And guess what? Through that, we're going to solve our crime issues. Because instead of, guess what, giving money to the cops, guess what, we're going to start more programs for our youth. And we know a lot of the youth that's doing the issues in our programs. Again, we had over 30 interns from Addicts Middle School. And we asked one of them, what do you want to do? He said, I want to be a rapper. We said, name some successful steps you think you need to take to be a rapper. He said, first I need to go to jail, then I need to get out. And guess what? He was one of our #1 interns. Because after he seen the opportunity that we provided, he said, guess what? I can come to your store. I said, anytime you feel like it. And we provided that open door for our community. So again, we want the innovative ways that we do in our community, Lord forward for District D. Thank you.
I will make sure that every dime of the Rebuild Houston money goes back to the infrastructure like its intended use. No one on council is talking about that $1 billion that's just sitting there. The intended use was infrastructure, roadside ditches, curbs and gutters and things like that. We need to make, even if none of the other council people say anything, my job as a council person for District D is to speak up for our best interests in our district. So it's plenty of money down there, but it's not being spent on its intended use. There's no reason why our streets still look like it's looking now. What was the other question again? Edgewood Park. Okay, I was at the meeting, when we went to City Hall, I was at the meeting, I pointed out that federal funding cannot be used in the floodplain, so that's what they say they're gonna take the money from a library and put over there. But going back to CIP project, that CIP is gonna tell you whether you approve, reject it, it's gonna give you a start date and an ending date. So when we get these approvals, then Edgewood Park should have been finished a long time ago. Just like the Sunnyside Multi-Service, and it took years of CIP requests. Grimes Park took years of CIP requests. That's what we have to do as civic leaders. So it gives you a start date, it gives you a completion date. It shouldn't matter who's in council. It shouldn't matter if the administration changed. There should be legal documentation saying that this is going to happen no matter who's there. So going back to those applications that the councilwoman said that we put in, well, you've had 4 years to put in the same applications. So what's the holdup? So what's the holdup? So that's all I'm saying, y'all. It's called, see, that's what they asked the civic leaders to do, is to put in a CIP request, and that's what we've been doing. So if I could do it, I think a city council person should be doing it also. But at the same time, imagine what a person directly for your community can do with more resources, a bigger platform, and actually have a budget. I don't get paid to represent Sunnyside, Southport, HISD. I haven't got paid in a dime. They hear some of the problems, the civic leader hears all of the problems. They hear some of the complaints, we hear all the complaints. So at the end of the day, please do your research and pick someone who's already working for you, someone has our best interests at heart. I'm out here all day, I'm gonna have an open door policy. You're still gonna see me in the community. You're still gonna see me coming out to these meetings, things like this. So all I'm...
First of all, when it's concerned the parks, I'm not really concerned about the parks because they don't look like the parks across Main Street.
Ms. Ray Rollins.
What we can do is what we did in 5th Ward. Partner with the county. We partner with Al Franco Lee, we got Finnegan Park up the park. So why can't we partner with the county commissioners to get all our parks up the park? Thank you all.
District D, how much is allocated south of OST?
Well, I don't have the answer to that, but guess what? I don't have the answer for that, but over the past 3 months, I've been getting calls from South Union and Sunnyside about the services that they're not getting. So my #1 position, I'm working on that right now, is to work with the people in South Park and OST, and whatever that budget is, Charles, we're going to get the money for it. Thank you.
again, my name is Deborah Rose, and I'm running out for City Council District D. Let me first apologize for you, because it should not take 16 years for a park to be overlooked for 16 years, while they're putting funding in places like West U, Bel Air, and Maryland. It should not be, and it shouldn't take that long. And as your city council, I will get in there and see what was so long and why it took so long, and make them address the issue. In terms of south of OST, I live closely in that area. It has been overlooked. Nothing is being done. And again, as your city council, I will make sure that I will walk the street, that it will be allocated. Funds will be allocated the correct way and not the wrong way. Doing communities around us, but not looking at us. They don't see the need that we have that funding available. And I think that is a lie, and it needs to stop this day. My name is Deborah Rose, and I'm running out for City Council District D. Thank you.
Good morning. Good evening. My name is Jackie, and I'm concerned about the park on Cullen and Orem. I have called 211. They do not have restrooms, and they have children 1, 2, 3, 4 on up, and I'm sure all y'all have grandchildren and children. Mothers go watch their kids play football. The park is full of cars. And when you look over there, there's so many people, but they have nowhere for their kids to use the restroom. That bothers me. That's teaching those
That's your
kids.
question. How to get restrooms?
How can we get restrooms on Cullen and Orem? The name of the park is Sure Park on Cullen. We have no way.
All right.
Thank
Question
you.
from the panel.
If you become one of the winners of the council seat, since at-large council members vote on district council matters, will you convene a series of district council meetings within the council district?
Thank you. Kendall Baker for at-large 1. Just to take the second question first, the answer is yes. When I won my seat to the Houston Independent School District, one of the things they credited me with was that I was always out in my district. I visited every school, every elementary school, every high school, and every middle school. So I love interacting with the public. I will commit to doing that as your at-large council member. I will support the district council member. And I will make sure. I love public service. And so since I'm here this morning, thank you, Mr. Charles X, for having us. I commit to continue being public. Whether it's town hall meetings, whether it's impromptu meetings, or whether Charles called me or your civic club calls me, I will be there. To the first question with regards to the parks, the bathrooms and so forth. Yes, I am willing to work with the Parks Department, work with the administration to get to the bottom of that. I am known for being a problem solver. That's why 10,000 plus people voted for me to be the district trustee for HISD, because people believe on me, in me. They know that I'm a man of my word, and they know that I am a workhorse. So I would want to get to the bottom of that. When I managed the 311 helpline, we took up to 20,000 calls per day. I was on the phones myself handling those calls. Many times they escalate the call up to the manager, and I would have to follow up with that department head and get the job done. Let me tell you something. Although I've been away for 10 years, I'm still working. Family members are calling, neighborhood civic members are calling. I'm still working. The work never stops. You don't necessarily have to be an elected official to get things done. And so if you have it in you, you'll continue to get it done. And so I want to get to the bottom of what's going on at Cullen Park. Whatever it takes, find the money, work with the parks director, work with the mayor, and then my 16 colleagues around the board. We all work as a team to get the problem solved that have been overlooked for years. My name is Kendall Baker. If you elect me, you will elect someone that will hit the ground running. And thank you for calling the 311 Houston Service Helpline. God bless you.
Well, the first question, I'm going to answer the second question. The second question is about having town hall meetings and being accessible to the community. That is something that I'm definitely going to do. Not only will I do that as far as reaching out into the community and being present. I've already been present, but the other thing is I will continue to do what I've done when I was at the City of Houston, During the time as the Solid Waste Management Public Information Manager, I also had a talk show. It was called Wasting No Time, and I would tell you to keep it clean at the end of the show. I had that show for 10 years to continue to communicate with the community. But let me tell you, that's one thing, giving you information, but I want it to be a two-way dialogue so that I can hear from you. I've gone to countless town hall meetings when I was working at the city, and I will definitely have town halls all over as your at-large council member. The other question is in regards to the public and to the restrooms. You know, that not having restrooms accessible is not acceptable. And so one of the things that we need to do is look at a quick turnaround on a solution and look at how we can get bathrooms, portable bathrooms right there. But we also need to solve the situation with getting, getting funding, whether it's public-private partnerships or whether it's looking at, because this is a CDBG area, Community Development Block Grant area, getting money from the federal government or whatever funds that we have that we can quickly expedite to get those bathrooms in place. We ought not to have our children having to be exposed to that, not having a place to go. Even as a senior, sometimes seniors have to go a little bit more often, and we want to definitely be able to enjoy our parks. So I'm Marina Angelica Coriat. I'm running for Houston City Council at-large position 2. Marina Angelica Coriat, running for Houston City Council at-large position 2. That's Marina Angelica Coriat, running for Houston City Council at-large position 2. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to have a two-way dialogue, and I have the experience that matters to make a difference. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention and being here. God bless you.
Thank you. First of all, let me address a couple of things. We don't need talking points on these matters. As I said earlier, this race is about the people. It's about what you need to do. Let me speak to the one first, to the Edgewood Park. I have been at, and she is exactly right, the upgrade of that park has been on the table for years. I was at the meeting in Edgebrook when Wanda Adams was district council member. I was at the meeting, as y'all remember, when Dwight Barkins was at law. It is time to fix Edgewood Park. And let me tell you how we'll do it. Number one, at-large council people, we don't have a budget like the district council people, CIP budget. But here's what we can do. You have 5 at-large representatives, 5. We can take money from all of our minimum budget and we can suggest it to that district council member and we can come up with that money. Second thing is we need to start using private partnerships. There are people out there that will come in the community and put those dollars where they need to be. And that's what we need to do. Start using outside entities. The city get a lot of money from private industries. Why can't they do it in our community? It's time out for that. Second point, Martin Luther King and Cullen Boulevard, those streets have been on the table. Now here's the deal. This is no reflection on the district council person, but listen, why do we get blacktop roads in our community and other communities get hard concrete? We need to get away from that. We need to stand up and start speaking to that issue. My third point in regards to getting together with other district people. Let me tell you what happened, and some of them picked up on it. In most of these forums that I go to, here's a solution that I made, and I think I may have mentioned it to Charles before. You know what we need to do? City council need to start acting like city council. We all sit around that table. The other thing we need to do is this. We need to have town hall meetings. I said it to Mother Pete. We need to have town hall meetings required of every district and every at-large person. We need 4. Every 3 months, a town hall meeting ought to go in every district and let the people come tell you. Many of our seniors, you can't drive downtown. You got to get on the bus, get in your car, park at a parking lot, go in there, pay for parking, go upstairs to the 3rd floor. You get 3 minutes, and then you turn around. God bless you. What did they do?
Well, there's been a lot of good conversation, but let's talk about streets. One of the things that Pastor Davis just hit on, I'm in District D, but I'm on that Beltway 8 side of District D. Some of the things that you guys are experiencing, some of the things that we experience, but our communities come together in collaborative efforts and we say no. We have contractors that come into our communities, they take out concrete, then they want to put blacktop in there. We said, no, you take out concrete, you're gonna put concrete back in there. What's the difference? It's the voice of the community. Let me tell you something. Your voice is more powerful than you think you are. We had some contractors, some builders that wanted to come in our community and put some huge apartment complex, which was going to stress our already stressed infrastructure and dump a lot of traffic in our community. We got 5 civic clubs together. We got our newspaper person together. And we went down to City Hall with charts and everything and worked with Dwight Borkins, who came alongside with us and said, look, we can't do this because the community does not want it. Your voice is the voice of your community. So just like as I am the president of Kirkwood Civic Club, and I'm saying this is not going to go, I'm the gatekeeper in my community, it does not go. And so what we do is we work together. Stop fighting one another and work together, pull together. And when you work together, your voice is your currency for downtown. And this is what I want to do as a city council representative. As your at-large person, I want to bring that kind of fire to the communities. I'm a community person. I'm a grassroots person. I believe that our government is designed to work from its people up, not from government down. And somehow this thing has gotten turned that they don't even listen to the people anymore. So we, the people, have to put our boots on and say, no, we're demanding better. We're expecting better from our city council people and our leadership. And this is what has happened in our communities. And then for our young people, we've got to go where they are. You know where they are? They're here. Look around this room. You see, I'm 61 years old. I know I don't look it, but I'm 61 years old. Our young people have to be engaged, and they have to know that this is civic pride that has to be instilled in them. If we don't teach them, they don't know how important it is. How do we do that? Get our churches involved. Look at this edifice here. Is this edifice closed during the week? Why? We have facilities that we can begin to teach and train and connect with our public schools. We need to go in our public schools and begin to educate them on civic pride. So these are things that we have to do. As your at-large city council member, I will engage as Pastor Davis and Koya talked about getting out and having town hall meetings. I love people. I'm a pastor. I'm always in the community, and I know that for a better quality of life, we have to fight for what we need. It's just not going to happen just by osmosis. We have to have a voice, give a voice to it, and make our communities what we want it to be. I'm Erica McCrutchy, candidate for Houston City Council at large. Can I get all the questions? Thank you.
Drew Patterson, at large District 4. While listening to everybody speak, I've noticed there's a continued lack of communication, apparently disconnected with regards to our citizens that we serve. Myself, I hear the issues that being brought about, and I'm sorry I didn't understand all the questions, but I'm going to try to address them in my manner. There were things that happened, like we talked about the parks, the bathrooms. First of all, my concern would be, when the budget was created, was there a bathroom when they was created? Or what happened to the money? Who was the one who underwrote the signature and transferred the money, and where did it go? Okay? Then I would tell the people, hey, it was so-and-so. On his last day in the office, the mayor did this, the city council did that. This person is responsible, they're not running again. But I need to get that information out to you, to everybody, to let them know, hey, this is what's transpired. It went over to someplace else and it disappeared. It's no longer yours. I don't like that. I firmly believe that when you're given a budget, that you take care of it and you give it to design to the people that it's designed for. So again, it's a service, and my family motto, believe it or not, I'm not going to say this, but my family motto on a few of them is, we serve. And that's exactly what I want to do. It's to serve the citizens that when you elect me at large, to address your concerns. I want to get these billboards out there. You got a street problem, I'm going to put it out there in the civic park, maybe by the churches allow it. Simply say, here's a phone number, this is who you need to call and complain. Because talking to me is okay, and I can make a phone call, but you're going to be more effective to go out there and speak. I speak before city council, I speak before the county court of commissioners, I've been to tiers meetings, listening to them speak. And actually, who's going to be responsible for the repairs and where the money's coming from? You need to know that so you can reach out to them and say, be responsible, take care of our parks, take care of our streets. I was over at Pleasant Site not too long ago, driving on the road, it was a 45-degree angle, okay? That's like this. I'm driving along because the subsidence on it. I'm just going, this is crazy, okay? You talked about concrete versus blacktop. My first question is, which is more serviceable? Number one, the concrete is going to last longer, it's going to be there, or is it going to break down, or whatever the case is? So I can explain to people this is the reason why it's being done this way. If it's concrete, hey, put it back. Put concrete back. That's what's there. You got 18-wheelers. Blacktops are not going to handle 18-wheelers. You got to have that. You got to take care of the citizens, and you got to be responsible to them, and that's exactly what I will do. Drew Patterson, at-large member 4. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening.
All right, so we want to thank all the candidates for being here. Give them a round of applause for all the candidates. And we're going to proceed with our closed meeting with the community folks. So we want you, the candidates, to make sure whatever cards you have, pick them up before you leave, and sign. Y'all give them another round of applause. Don't get busy. We not dismissed from the community. Don't get busy. Let's go, candidates. Let's go, candidates. As you can see, we had a rancorous time, a good time, and an informative time. Join us the next time. This is Charles X. White signing off. Thank you.